June is Annuity Awareness Month. So the industry takes this month to try to raise awareness in all of our communities and where around the area about the value that annuities offer customers. And so we think this is a terrific opportunity and want to share this opportunity with our agents to make sure that they, raise awareness with their clients about what annuities can do for them. And so with that, there's really like four main themes that we think we typically want to share around the June Awareness Month about the value that the greatest value that annuities offer for clients. And that sort of begins with the fact that annuities are one of the only things that you can buy that can guarantee an income for as long as someone lives. That's very important. And annuities are designed to build up and distribute retirement income. So annuities are about retirement income. If you're using them for something other than that, you're probably not using them for the right reason. So when we get into that, we think about some of the things that are specific about annuities. And Steve, let's talk a little bit about it. Like perhaps let's talk about the MYGA, one of the low-lying fruits in the annuity area. What are some of the advantages or value, the value that MYGAs represent for customers?
And MYGAs are multi-year guarantee annuities, are typically the simplest form of annuity for your clients to understand, and you, the agent, to even understand. A lot of people are very familiar with CDs, certificate of deposits, that you can get at a bank. And they're very similar to that in that you get a fixed interest rate for a certain time of a term, basically. So you can get 5.5% for 5 years, and that's exactly what you're going to get every year for each year. And the benefits, though, of using a MYGA instead of a CD would be that it would grow tax-deferred. You'd even have some liquidity access to the money as well. So that's one of the first of the four main areas, that annuities can really help out clients with.
Yeah, that's terrific. And thanks for clarifying. We tend to use these acronyms all the time and think that people know them, and not everybody knows that MYGA is multi-year guaranteed annuity. So thank you for that. And again, the advantages it might have over this certificate of deposit for people. And this is one of the easier products for clients to understand. So we like this product a lot because we think it makes it a little bit easier for agents that aren't real comfortable with annuities yet to kind of ease into things and still add tremendous value for their clients. The second thing that I think of often that is one of the greatest values that annuities offer people is the idea that they can get an income that they cannot outlive, or that they and their spouse perhaps cannot outlive.
For sure.
And that's really important.
Yep. And so that's what a fixed index annuity can really offer people is they have an income rider where you can guarantee lifetime income for you and your spouse for as long as either one of you live. And just the value proposition that it affords people is incredible. I mean, sometimes they may just have a Social Security check coming in. Now they can basically build their own pension with a fixed index annuity with an income rider where they can have an extra stream of income to be able to help afford and continue their lifestyle that they're used to already.
Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah, and as you talked about before, annuities have never been as compelling as they are right now. The income rates today are higher than we've ever seen them. So it's not uncommon for a pair of 65-year-olds to get an income over 7% guaranteed for as long as either one of them lives. And we often tell that the number one fear of retirees, at least in America, is running out of income before they run out of breath, or running out of income during their lifetime. And annuities, the only thing they can buy that will do that. Social Security can do that, but they can't buy it. A pension can do that, but they can't buy that. They can buy an annuity and make that part of their plan, which really makes a difference.
Yep.
So thinking about that, those are two different ideas. I think the third idea that comes to mind for me an awful lot in terms of the value that annuities offer comes in the idea of sort of addressing long-term care risks in different ways.
Yeah. So you as an agent, you're going to come across a number of different clients who have long-term care concerns, and sometimes they're not all that healthy, and they can't get approved for being fully underwritten, which is typically through life insurance or a standard long-term care plan. There are annuities out there that have the ability to be able to provide long-term care money that you can leverage your own dollars to get more, as long as you can answer 5 or 10 questions and don't have to go through being fully underwritten with blood drawn and all that other stuff. And so there we have opportunities that we can help out your clients in that area of need.
Yeah. Which is terrific. The thing about long-term care is you can have the best retirement plan in the world in a way, but if it doesn't address long-term care, that risk, and one of a couple, let's say, ends up with a long-term care event and goes into a home and spends $10,000 a month for a while, that's going to have an effect on the plan. In fact, in some cases, it can completely blow up the plan if they haven't planned for that. So to be able to address that is really key. And again, the likelihood, I think it's 7 out of 10 people turning 65 are going to need some kind of long-term care assistance before they're gone. That's a pretty high statistic. And so you have to ask yourself, if you're talking to two people today, are they feeling that lucky that both of them are going to be in the three out of 10 that don't need it? So an interesting thing. The last idea that I think really plays into the value that annuities offer probably comes around growth and accumulation, the options that are out there. And there's been tremendous innovation in the industry recently around this, and even the death benefit, the ability to grow that money for retirement, but even to pass it effectively. You want to talk a little bit about some of the options there?
Sure, yeah. So with fixed index annuities, I mean, the potential for growth is outstanding with the potential of how indexes perform, like an S&P 500. You can count on that to be able to be growing over your lifetime. They have bonuses available to you to where you can catch back up maybe if you've lost some money in the market, or if you have an annuity with surrender charges that isn't just performing as well as you'd like. There are death benefit riders that can give you guaranteed roll-up rates towards the death benefit that you can pass on, and that's also not going to be underwritten, just like the long-term care options. So there's a great ways to be able to protect your principal, be able to have good growth, and be able to pass that on to a beneficiary that's important to you.
Yeah. And you just hit on them. Protect the principal. That's the zeros you hear, the value that it can't go down. The bonus opportunities are outstanding, up to what, like 27% in some cases with fees?
Yeah.
Certainly well over 10 in many cases without a fee, which is really outstanding. And then the death benefit options, which would be really great. So those are just a few of them. And so we encourage you to reach out to the Gordon Marketing Annuity team if we can help you at all with some materials to help communicate with your clients and raise awareness among your potential clients about the value that annuities offer and how you can help them with that. So with that, if you would please, click the subscribe button down there so you'll get access to all the latest content that we introduce. And with that, thank you very much for your time and attention, and happy selling.